Hi, Florida Real Estate Sales Associate, Chapter 12. Pointers. Chapter 12 is Real Estate Finance. This is my favorite chapter. It's the most interesting. Lien theory allows the borrower to retain ownership of the property during the loan period. Promissory note. When money is borrowed to purchase real estate, the lender requires the borrower to sign a promissory note, also called a note or a bond. The promissory note is a legal instrument that includes the borrower's promise to repay the loan with interest according to the terms of the note. The note is evidence of a personal debt and contains the names of the parties, the rate of interest, the amount borrowed, and the loan repayment terms. The note is a contract between the lender and the borrower. I had some jelly beans and my teeth are hurting. I think I have a cavity? Probably. Parties to a mortgage. The property owner is the mortgager, the party who gives the mortgage to the lender to secure the loan. The lender is the mortgagee, the party that receives the mortgage from the property owner. The mortgager pledges the property as security to the mortgagee. The mortgager owns the real property while the mortgagee owns the mortgage, which is personal property. Satisfaction of mortgage. When a loan has been paid in full in a lien theory state, the mortgager should receive a letter of satisfaction from the mortgagee within 60 days of loan payoff. Defeasance clause. The defeasance clause provides protection for the mortgager as it requires the lender to acknowledge performance by the borrower. The lender's rights are held in check as long as the borrower performs as agreed in the note and mortgage. It is the only legally necessary clause in a mortgage. Escalator clause. The escalator clause allows the lender to increase the interest rate based on the occurrence of events such as a change in use of the property. Exculpatory clause. The exculpatory clause limits the lender's rights in a foreclosure to the amount received from the sale of the foreclosed property. If the balance of the promissory note has not been paid in full from the proceeds of the sale, the lender cannot obtain a deficiency judgment for the unsatisfied amount. I don't know why anyone would sign that. The rate actually received by the lender is called the effective yield. The mathematical calculation of the effective yield is complex. However, a simple rule of thumb can be used to approximate the change in interest as a result of this payment. The rule of thumb is that for each point charged by the lender, the rate of interest usually increases approximately 1/8%. 4 points times 1/8 equals 4.8%, or 1 out of 2% increase in interest rate. Step 2, 9% plus 0.5%. 9% is the rate paid by the borrower. 0.5% is increased due to the discount, equals 9.5%, which is effective yield. The Equal Credit Opportunity Act. Effects of the loan discount. So a discount is really like an increase. It's not a discount. The Equal Credit Opportunity Act, ECOA, requires lenders to judge every loan applicant on the basis of the applicant's own credit rating and income. Lenders are required to consider a spouse's income, part-time income, alimony, child support, or separate maintenance in the approval process. An applicant may request inclusion of another individual's income or credit history in order to qualify for a loan, in which case the lender will consider both the cosigner and applicant's income and credit history. The ECOA allows the lender to question applicants on the stability and source of income, but the lender cannot refuse to consider income because of the source. Lenders cannot discriminate against borrowers on the basis of race, color, religion, national origin, sex, marital status, age, or receipt of income from public assistance programs. I wonder if a lender can refuse to, because legally it says that a lender can't refuse to consider income because of its source, but like let's say someone's source is illegal. I don't know. I wonder. Housing expense ratio. The housing expense ratio is a percentage of the borrower's monthly gross income. No. of the borrower's monthly gross monthly income used to make the monthly loan payment, plus 1/12 of the annual real estate taxes and hazard insurance, which is PITI, P-I-T-I. The PITI payment must also include homeowners or condominium association dues if applicable. Utilities are not included in the ratio. Mortgage insurance would be included if required. Monthly PITI over monthly gross income equals housing expense ratio. FHA loans are made based on a housing expense ratio of 31% and a total obligations ratio of 43%. Loan to value ratio. The loan to value ratio is the percentage of the property's value represented by the loan. Loan amount over sales price or appraised value equals loan to ratio value. For example, assume a buyer contracted to purchase a home for $100,000 and the sales price was equal to the appraised value. If the borrower were able to make a $20,000 down payment called the borrower's equity, what would the loan to value ratio be? Subtract the down payment from the purchase price to obtain the amount of loan required. Use the formula. $100,000 minus $20,000 equals loan required, which is $80,000. $80,000 over $100,000 equals 0.8 or 80% loan to value ratio. The down payment may also be expressed as a percentage of the sales price. It is the difference between the property value and the loan to value ratio. In the example above, an 80% loan to value ratio subtracted from the property value of 100% would indicate a 20% down payment. Equity of redemption is the right of a borrower to cure the default before foreclosure rather than lose the property. The borrower must pay the entire balance of the debt plus any interest and costs that have accrued since the default. Foreclosure process. Foreclosure is an enforcement of a mortgage lien by a lender. If all lien holders have been paid from the proceeds of the foreclosure sale, any excess remaining is paid to the mortgagor. Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, RESPA. RESPA standardizes real estate closings by requiring lenders to provide good faith estimate of settlement costs no later than 3 business days following the date of mortgage loan application. I'm going to read that one more time because I was not focusing on it. RESPA, Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. RESPA standardizes real estate closings by requiring lenders to provide good faith estimate of settlement costs no later than 3 business days following the date of a mortgage loan application, requiring each loan applicant to be provided with an information booklet entitled Settlement Costs and You, which explains the various closing charges. Requiring that a uniform settlement statement, HUD-1, be completed and provided to the borrower at least 1 day prior to closing if requested, and prohibiting kickbacks and rebates. Truth in Lending Act. The Consumer Credit Protection Act of 1968, also known as the Truth in Lending Act, was enacted to ensure that consumers receive meaningful information concerning the true cost of credit. It's funny, whenever I read about acts that happen or laws that are passed in the 60s, I'm always like, what were these people doing? It was the 60s. Why were they sitting there writing laws? I know, ridiculous. Regulation Z, published by the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve, requires that borrowers be clearly shown the cost of credit, both in dollars and percentages. The percentage is stated as an annual percentage rate, APR, which includes interest, credit, life insurance, discount, and loan origination fees. Triggering terms. If an advertisement contains any one of a list of terms specified in the TIL Act, then that advertisement must also include 3 prescribed disclosures. In other words, specified terms trigger the disclosures. The triggering terms are amount of the down payment expressed as either percentage or a dollar amount, amount of any payment expressed as a percentage or as a dollar amount, amount of any finance charge. And that is it for Chapter 12.